How do we compete in a market where the competition is undercutting us on price? How do we compete in a market where things have changed dramatically because of the technology? How do we compete in a market where it seems like our customers or our clients want more from us, but they're willing to give us less? Well, the first answer to that question is strengthen your brand. Strengthen your brand. You remember, if you were in my group yesterday, you remember that I talked about the elasticity of demand. It's an economic term. I talked about supply and demand. And the way that it works is this. When a supply of something goes up, the price of something goes down. When the supply goes up, the price goes down. If I have too many tomatoes in August, the price of tomatoes is going down. Now, if the supply goes down, but the demand is the same, what happens to the price? It goes up. And what I want you to do in developing your brand is to be able to make your supply low, which you can do because you are the only one who does what you do exactly the way that you do it. There is nobody else like you. Nobody else does exactly what you do in the same way that you do it. So their supply is very low, which should raise the price. Now here's how it worked, and this is the conversation that I had with somebody yesterday. She said she works for a hotel chain. She said that she tries to get people to come and book the hotel. The problem is the person down the street will give them a lower price. And the planner, the person who's planning the event, says, well, you know what my boss really wants to know is those three letters, ROI, right? How are we going to get a return on our investment? And by the way, my boss also wants this, phenomenal golf course, right? This connection to a golf course. And the person down the street is willing to throw in some extra things and give that ROI by throwing in more stuff. You get more for the same price, or you get more for a lower price. She said, how do I compete with that? Anybody have a similar problem with that? Absolutely, we all do. So here's how you compete. You don't compete on the price. You don't throw in extra things. In fact, you might even think about raising the price a little bit. Because what is the real need that the event planner has? What do they really need? Help me out here. They need success. They need accommodations. What do they really want to accomplish? What? They want to take care of the boss. They want to wow the boss, right? I mean, that's really what they want to do. So why don't you sell your ability to do that? Think about it, okay? King Dahl today was talking about people who came to this event, right? And they're talking about it 2 years later. Would that wow the boss? Absolutely. That's what you want to do. So you talk with that person who is the event planner, and you help them figure out how can we get people to talk about this event a year from now or 2 years from now. And you work with them so that people say, man, remember when we went to that place? We had such a great time. And remember the scallops that we had there? Now think what you're going to have to do is go to your food service provider. Is anyone here in food service? No food service people. Well, here's an idea for you. So you go to your food service provider and you say, I'd like to pay you a premium for what you're going to do for us. If you're in food service, how many times do people say, I'd like to pay you what you're worth? Not very often. They're usually saying, how can I get that less, right? You go to them and you say, I'd like to pay you a premium. I'd like to pay you the value of what it is that you're giving to us. But you've got to know that I've got to get people to, when they eat that, they've got to say, wow, where did this come from? This stuff is amazing. So don't sell on price. Strengthen your brand and sell to the need of the other person. Does that make sense? I mean, if you can figure out what it is that other person needs, and they're talking about your event a year or 2 years from now, how's that for ROI?